All right, here I am at the Park Avenue Railroad Crossing in Dolton, Illinois. So this railroad crossing right here is another rather massive crossing owned by two different lines that I decided to come out here and check out. And once again, another rail fanning hotspot, all owned by the CSX Bar subdivision, as well as the Indiana Harbor Belt line. Now this crossing isn't as huge as the one that I toured in Blue Island yesterday, and not as weird either with the 3 lines or 4 lines running through it. But this one right here, I decided to check out the next day since we got a few things coming and I wanted to catch them here. So I guess all that said, this crossing features I'd say a pretty good variety of different equipment here. And yeah, and I guess all that said, I'll explain as I go on, so let's get to it. So for the first signal, this has a Modern Industries cantilever. And here's the emergency information, the dot tag, which is a bar sub number, and the dot number is 163612W. And for the gate mechanism, this has a Safetran gate mechanism 2000s generation sitting on a Western Cullen Hayes base. And the gate features some NEG LED gate lights and a wind guard on this mast, which is bent to the side. And for the mast lights on the cantilever, this has 2 pairs of Safetran 12x24-inch dialight LEDs. As you can see, the front pair is on the cantilever while the back is on the gate mast. And this pair is sitting on a Modern Industries light bracket, while the other pair is sitting on a Safetran light bracket. And for the overhead lights, which is the same kind of deal, this has 2 more pairs of Safetran 12x24-inch dialight LEDs, all sitting on a Modern Industries light bracket. You see how angled these are towards like the other roads that are over here. And for a bell, which is on the gate mast, this has an NEG electronic bell. I'm not exactly sure what this replaced in the past. Most likely a Western Cullen Hayes mechanical bell, since that other bell did as well. And there's gonna be probably a couple interruptions because I'm hearing all kinds of different horns in the distance. So I guess I'll try making this quick so I can do this in one take, since we got other places to go. So yeah, that was the first signal. Pretty substantial stuff. Now let's go ahead and move on to the second signal, which I guess is the neat part of the crossing. So yeah, here's the second signal, which is not similar to the first, and which is on the same, I would say, side of the crossing, but on the other side, this is like a quad setup. So for this one has a GRS cantilever. As you can see, this is the triangular style with a Transport Products marked base. And the cantilever has no dot tag, but it does have an Indiana Harbor Belt dot tag up here, as you can see. And a dot number for the Indiana Harbor Belt line is 326893L. Yep, 893L. And for the mast lights, this has 1 pair of Safetran 12x24-inch dialight LEDs. 1 more pair of it, I should say, sitting on a Safetran light bracket. And for the overhead lights on this one, which is pretty neat, this has 2 pairs of Safetran 12x24-inch incandescent lights, all sitting on a Safetran light bracket. And you can see one of the backgrounds are chipped, or there's a chunk missing. And there's no bell on this cantilever, but there's a little finial top on top of it. And for the lone gate mechanism on this side, which is actually a pedestrian gate mechanism, this has a Western Cullen Hayes gate mechanism, older generation, sitting on a Premier Products 5-inch base with some nice little reflectors on it. And this gate features no gate lights on it whatsoever, nor any counterweights, which makes sense, it's a pedestrian gate. So yeah, that right there was the second signal, which is probably my favorite part of the crossing per se. Now let's go ahead and move on to the third signal, which is another cantilever once again. So yeah, let me go and take a long walk. This is a big crossing, it has 5 tracks, and all these tracks right here go to different places. You can see some transfers around, some Ys that CSX goes to and from the bar sub to the Indiana Harbor Belt. And also this crossing right here features a diamond right over there, and the track that goes right across from here is actually the Union Pacific Villa Grove subdivision. And as I said that, there's a Villa Grove sub train ready to get going. So, and further down there is also the Metra Joliet sub. Actually, I don't think that's the Joliet sub. That's the electric portion of Metra over there. Never mind that. But yeah, I guess with that said, here's the next signal, which is similar to the first one. So for this one, this has another Modern Industries cantilever with an upside down box, as you can see. And this signal features no dot tag on it once again. Actually, never mind, there's a dot tag right here. Whoops. So yeah, here's the emergency information once again, which is CSX and not IHB. And for the gate mechanism, this has another Safetran gate mechanism 2000s generation sitting on a fabricated metals 5-inch base, as you can see, with a hose clamped on cover. And the gate features some more NEG LED gate lights and 1/2 of a wind guard. That's kind of funny. So yeah, And for the mast lights on this one, this has 1.5 pairs of Satran 12 by 24 inch dialight LEDs and one Western Cullen Hayes 12 by 24 inch second generation LED light. So you can see this one is with the flat back light head. And these lights are sitting in the back pair are sitting on a Satran light bracket, while the ones on the cantilever mast are sitting on a Modern Industries light bracket. Excuse me. And for the overhead lights, this has 2 more pairs of Satran 12 by 24 inch dialight LEDs sitting on a Modern Industries light bracket. And for a bell on this one, this has another NEG electronic bell, which once again replaced a mechanical bell in the past. And also another thing worth mentioning, that this crossing used to have incandescent lights in the past. All of them used to be incandescent in the past and whatnot. Kind of neat stuff. And the bell wiring on this is that the bells ring all the way, not all the way through. They only ring while the gates are going down, and they don't ring again after that. So that was the third signal. Now let's go ahead and move on to the final little thing at this crossing, which is the lone pedestrian gate mechanism on the other side of this side, if that makes sense. And oh, it looks like we got a train down there. Looks like Indiana Harbor Belt, possibly. But he is not lined up, so he has to stop, unless he gets lined up last minute. So yeah, here is the final little signal of this crossing. Which is the little pedestrian gate mech. So all this features is a Western Cullen Hayes double-sided base, and the gate mechanism is a Satran gate mechanism 90s generation, and this gate features no gate lights. So yeah, that right there was all there is to show for the equipment here at Park Avenue. Here's the relay case for the bar subdivision. Well, actually, I don't think that's the relay case. One of these cases, one of those two. Oh wait, never mind. There's the relay case. It's over here. So yeah, I guess all that said, let's go ahead and quickly show the track views, because I might get a train here in a few seconds. So here's the Indiana Harbor Belt line. This is facing east towards where a train is stopped, because a train just went through here and stopped. You can see a couple of color light signals, and as well as a signal gantry. And here is the oh, I hear them rounding a Y, so yep. And down there is the west track view heading towards the Indiana Harbor Belt Yard, and this west track view on the bar sub heads to Bar Yard. You can see the big gantry signal right there and everything. Kind of neat stuff. You see how this features more and more signal gantries, and eventually heading towards an overhead bridge of the Joliet sub. Oh yep, there's the train. It's actually heading west onto the Indiana Harbor Belt line from the Villa Grove sub. Kind of neat stuff to see here. And you can see the municipal center is right here for Dolton, Indiana. You can see an old siren up there, and the one that's currently replacing it, which is a Federal Signal 3T22 or 2T22. Kind of neat stuff here to see. So yeah, that right there is all there is to show for this crossing for now. So this was the Park Avenue Railroad crossing here in Dolton, Indiana, owned by the Indiana Harbor Belt Line and the CSX Bar subdivision. Pretty neat stuff. There are a lot of trains around, so I'm gonna go ahead and get going and call it good for now. So I guess with all that said, over and out. You can hear crossings down there too, so over and out.